Hola, people. Does the iPad do the tracking when you're recording camera video? No, I don't think so. It don't look like it. I'm filming on my iPad. I guess that can be the first part. I got an iPad Air 5 over the summer, I'm pretty sure. And I try to use it for editing, and I'm gonna use it for notes when school starts. Okay, we're gonna do a life update, I guess. I have not posted very much this summer. Let's see. I know I just posted my cousin's graduation, which I don't know if my vlogs are good because they always end up just being me talking like in my car. And then, I don't know. I felt kind of bad because it was supposed to be like about my cousin. But I feel like both the graduations I posted this year were more me, but like obviously because it's me. I don't know. I think my favorite thing to post on the YouTube channel is book reviews because that feels like natural and also like not necessarily like I'm just yapping about myself. Even though I don't mind yapping about myself, I'm like, oh my god, people are watching and all you do is put out your business. I only really post on here for my friends, but my views are always higher than 2. And I only have like 2 friends, so other people see shit, so yeah. Everything I've posted this year. I've actually posted like a good amount this year. That's good. I thought it would be more though, I can't lie, because I was on co-op, so that's kind of more free time. But the thing that has really slowed me down is editing. Yeah, I just like started trying too hard. If you don't know, most YouTubers edit out every time they say and there's like a pause and stuff. And I go back and forth between wanting to do that and being like, just give up. Just so I think for this video I'm not gonna edit it for real. I say that and then like I always do. It's hard to record something and not edit it at all now that I know what I know. Especially when I don't talk for like a couple minutes. It's like, girl, you can cut that out. But it's hard because it's like you have to rewatch your whole video. I think that's another thing that like keeps me from editing. It's like you have to rewatch your whole video. Sometimes you record stuff that's like 2 hours and you have to take it down. It's wild. It's wild. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I'm trying to do a life update. Honestly, I'm doing a life update because honestly, I'm so stressed out. And I thought this would like, I don't know. You know, get it off my chest type shot. But I think the last time I did this, I didn't post it because it felt too, I don't know, maybe personal or whatever. But maybe that's a good thing because sometimes people post like that and then other people relate. I don't know if anybody who's in the same demographic as me, that's not my friend, watches this. But if you are, maybe you'll relate. And maybe this is an X-Acto knife. I used this to cut the fat head in my cousin's graduation video. I'm sitting at a desk with stuff, so you're probably just gonna see me pick up stuff while I talk. But yeah, I don't want to talk too long. I think I'll try to keep this to like 30 minutes ish. But let's do a life update from January, I guess. I could go before then, but should I go before then? Yeah, let's go before then, just because actually I evaluated my life. Let's do it from when I evaluated my life because that's kind of like a life update except without details. I evaluated my life 7 months ago. Yeah, that's basically around January. We're not gonna do that yet. We're gonna wait for it to hit the year mark, I guess, but I feel like I'm gonna forget that. It was supposed to be a yearly thing, but hopefully I remember. But yeah, January, the semester ended. I had a rough fall semester. I was like depressed for the second half of it, which is wild now because when I think back on it, I like don't even remember. Yeah, like I don't know. I remember classes and stuff, but I don't know. Like the fact that I was depressed is not like a huge part of it, I don't think. Or it's just been so long that I'm like, me. I don't know. You know what I mean? Happens sometimes. There were some things that might have been causes. Like I don't know. It feels like there's always stressors in my life, and I don't know how out of control they are for me. I think I've been trying to get a bit more of a handle on those stressors in the past 7 months, but at the time, there were different stressors. There were like two main ones. But yeah. So those did not help depression wise. I don't know if they triggered. I think I know. I remember like one event felt like it triggered some shit, but anyways, we made it through. I finished the semester. I think I got like a C in a class, but I wasn't even fazed because the class was so horrible for me. Like, it was a group project class, and my group was so bad that, like, as long as I passed, it was like, okay, just let me finish. Like, let me get out the class. And then when I left a review, and I left like an honest review, and of course the teacher said something about like should have let them know or something, which is so frustrating, but maybe I should have, whatever. I did the best that I could manage at the time with what was happening. It's so crazy. I feel like teachers forget that like life be lifing at the same time. So it's like I'm depressed. Sorry if my main concern is not your class. Like I did what I could or handle at the time, you know what I mean? So yeah, that happened. Some stuff was like good. School has always been like a pretty good distraction for me. Sometimes classes really stress me out. Or like the spring semester last year almost took me out the game, bro. But I don't know. I still like it at the same time. Like I like being at school. So I'm like excited for it, but nervous at the same time. What else? After the semester ended, what did I do in December? Oh, the beginning of December break, I don't think I did much. And then end of December, I went to New York with my sister to visit my cousin. And that was super fun. That was like my first time flying and being old enough to remember it. I've flown as a kid, but didn't remember it at all. My sister bought the tickets though, and I just paid her for it. So I do kind of wish she like showed me how to do that, even though it's probably not hard. But yeah, I wish I learned more because now I'm like way more open to traveling, and I feel like that's like partially a misconception about me, is that like I'm not willing to travel. I, one, was too broke to travel, and two, I have my limits on who I'm going to travel with, and there was like some big roadblockers with certain people who I just knew I would never travel with them, because I would never want to find myself like somewhere I'm not comfortable or like familiar, like an unfamiliar place miles from home, and stuck with a certain person. You know what I mean? Like I just wasn't gonna do that. But now that I'm not too broke to travel, and I've flown on a plane before, that's another thing. I was a little bit scared to fly on a plane. So my first trip being with my sister, like very much leveled everything out. Now I'm like ready. Like I think I could go anywhere. Except when I was in New York, the subways and stuff, like that was really stressful for me. I just followed my cousin everywhere. I even now don't think I would ever learn that skill. Like I think I would always have to like visit somebody who can like guide me to the places I want to go. I don't know if that's a bad thing, but like yeah, the train system, even though it's like literally on your maps and stuff, I don't think I could figure it out myself. And not to out, you know, Buddy, but like they kept hopping over the things and like not paying, which I know is very common, but that just stresses me out so much, especially when there's like they have cops like everywhere around the train stations in New York. So it was just like, damn, girl, like no chill, no chill. It got my heart like da 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 da. That's another reason why I don't know if my buddy watches this, but that's part of the reason why I like didn't really go places when we were in New York, is because the train was like stressing me out. But yeah, that was really fun though. I felt really relaxed and like disconnected in a way. I think like disconnecting myself from the world is like how I relax. Speaking of which, let me text my sister right now. I want to visit her in Columbus. I don't think my sister watches my YouTube channel, but I was not going to visit her or ask to visit her again because she had made a comment that pissed me off. She said it was like babysitting when I came over, and that pissed me off. So I was like, I'm not about to ask you to come to your place again, but I need to get out of Westchester, so I'll humble myself. Just sent the message. So then was spring semester is when I started my co-op. I got a co-op really early on in my fall semester, so I didn't have to stress about that. I got a co-op after my school's career fair. My school has a career fair early on in the semesters, I'm pretty sure, and the last 4 years I never had luck getting a co-op at the career fair. But this career fair, I gave a tour to freshmen before I went out on the floor myself, and that gave me like the social battery I needed to like get interviews and stuff. So yeah. And then I think I got 2 offers. I did not get an offer for L'Oreal, which that made me sad because I wanted to work there, but also it gave white. But like everywhere gave white, but that's like one thing where I'm like, I don't even know if they ever emailed me after. Maybe they don't care to, but I got 2 offers, one for I think Kinetic Vision, one for this place called, it started with a P, but I ended up going with Kinetic Vision because they're in my area. I'm still not, I'm more okay traveling, but living somewhere else for an extended period of time is not really what I want to do right now. Honestly, if I had to do it right now, I could probably do it, but I was not ready to do that back then. So we chose a co-op more local. It was like Paragon or something, the other one that I got. I might have had an offer for another place, but I genuinely can't remember. I remember being stressed about choosing, but then I just went with my gut, which is like stay home. That's another thing. I got to stay at home, so that's good. So I didn't have to pay for somewhere to live. I wonder if the people who traveled, because some people traveled to work at where I was working, and I wonder if they got any type of housing help. If they were just paying out of pocket, it's like, damn, y'all probably did not save as much money as I saved. Hopefully they got some housing help. But yeah. So I started that co-op in January. I think I started January 8th. It was like a few days right after I got back from New York, so I was like chilling. I had so much fun in New York. And then I started my co-op, but I was also on the board for my school's African Student Association. I was a secretary, which I enjoyed being the secretary, but sometimes I feel like because I was secretary, I don't know. I don't know if being in a different role would have helped, but like it feels like it was like downplayed, even though I did a fucking lot. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, so I was still on the board. So even though, and we also had our huge yearly event, which I wish I vlogged. I think I was probably planning on it and forgot, but like I genuinely should have vlogged that event. Like that's a regret. Like, I should have vlogged that, and I should have shown y'all that, because so much work was being put into it. Even though I was on co-op, I was driving to campus after work at least once a week, and then when the show was coming up, it was like every day, which that's another thing. Now it's like, you know, I just be feeling like my efforts and stuff be downplayed sometimes. Like, people don't realize I'm like always down to help, but whatever. I guess sometimes I'm like, is that what happens when you're the quiet person? Like, people just overlook things, but it's fine, I guess. I just continue to do my bestest. But yeah, so I was on co-op, but still going to school so much. Like, I was still so involved in school. So I think that really helped me, like, feel like, I don't know, it kept me up. And like, I was still seeing friends and stuff. Yeah, like, I was not like disconnected from the world at all. I think I was still like, I don't know if I partied a lot that semester, but I know I at least went to like 2 parties. Yeah, I still went to parties. So everything was fine. And then I ran for president of that organization at the end of the semester, and I did not win. I actually lost real bad, real bad. And that's another thing. That's like partially why I'm saying I feel like my hard work can be overlooked. And I'm interested in seeing how that org continues on in the next year. That's all I have to say. I don't want to be shady or anything. I'm like genuinely curious. I feel like me and the people who voted for me, it was only 2 other people, and we were friends who voted for me, had like a very clear view of that org and like why I should be president. Not to sound crazy, but like after the vote, it kind of opened my eyes, and it was like, damn, like maybe people are not seeing it like the way me and my friends are seeing it, because, you know, I didn't get the vote. So I was like, damn, maybe they don't think it needs the help we think it needs, or like that I can do it. But my presentation was so solid. That's another thing. Yeah, maybe it's best I just don't talk about it, because if y'all saw my presentation and y'all saw my other competition presentations and stuff, I think there would be some confusion. But it's okay, you know. Am I a wallflower? I always wonder if I consider myself a wallflower. Because the book, The Perks of Being a Wallflower, is a good book. And I think it makes people wonder, like, am I a wallflower? But the wallflower, like the main character, even though he was a wallflower, he had like trauma. And I feel like I don't have trauma like that. So it kind of like, whenever I think about that book, I don't really think like, oh, I'm a wallflower. You know what I mean? Because his life was so different. Like, he had things going on. Like, he had real shit going on. I feel like a wallflower, but like not like that. Like, his seemed different. Let me Google the definition of wallflower. I always tell my friends like everything, and I'm like, I don't know if anything in this recap would surprise them. A shy person, especially a girl or woman, who is frightened to involve herself in social activities and does not attract much attention, interest, or attention. I don't know how I feel about that. But yeah. So, after that, the semester basically ended. I had a good semester, though. That spring semester was good, even when, I don't know, even when work was stressing me out. Like, sometimes work stressed me out and stuff, but because I had a life outside of work, it was like fine. And then summer came, everything hit the fan. I lost my life outside of work. It was like nothing. Like, my life for the past 3 months has been just work. So I took a week off after the semester ended, and then got back to work, and that's like all I did for the past 3 months. And it was like no distractions, nothing to do after. Yeah. It was rough. Right before, I don't know when that shit was. I feel like around the same time where the semester was ending and then like the summer of work was starting, I lost like 2 friends, I guess you could say. One was kind of like, honestly, both of them were coming. Both of them were coming. One was kind of like, I want to say mutual understanding, but like, I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth. But to me, it was giving mutual understanding. Another one was not necessarily mutual understanding. It was a Mickell needed to get herself out of that situation, honestly. It's so crazy because I remember when I started therapy this year too, so that's a whole nother thing. So on top of everything I'm telling you, add therapy every Friday onto this. So while this was happening, I did communicate with my therapist about this, and it got to the point where she was like, kind of like, if you feel like this is like an abusive situation, get out of it for sure. And that's when I was like, I didn't admit it to my therapist because I feel like I'm not as open as I want to be. I feel like the only people who I've really been opening up to this year since is like my sister and like sometimes my cousin, but I don't know, we both have our own life stresses, so it's like me and my sister will put it on each other, but my cousin, I don't know if I want to like put that on you because I'm like, girl, I'm sure your life is stressful enough. Like, I don't know if I can rant to you about how fucking alone I feel, but you know. But yeah, so when my therapist said that, I didn't agree with her. Well, I didn't verbally say like, oh yeah, girl, no, this is abusive, let me get out of it. But when she said, if you feel like this is an abusive situation, then yeah, you need to get out of it, I was like, let me do that. So I did that, and then I also found out some tea about a situationship from the fall semester. I found out some tea on that was very eye-opening, and that was just wild. That was pretty wild. I still have follow-up questions on that I never got answered, but it's kind of like, let me move on. But that shit was wild. I wish I could, like, I want to talk about situationships so bad, but who knows who watches this channel? Who knows? But yeah, so I found out some stuff about the situationship. It didn't feel like, I don't know. I feel like, why does it feel like, it feels like around that time, it was like the second coming of that situationship, because that was part of the problem in the fall semester, and that did its thing, like tsunami. But it felt like when I found out that stuff, it was like a second wave. But also, like, I remember at the time when I found this stuff out, I was actually happy because it made things click for me, and like it helped me realize that, like, oh, that person was not who you thought they were, and you are quite literally better off without that person in your life. But I don't know, maybe because of the friendship breakups, it was like all three of them things was coming together or whatever. But yeah, I'm like, is there a detail I'm missing? I did find out something, but that was like later in the summer. But I'm gonna cut to that. I also found out that situationship is like, not that situationship, that person from the situationship is like not no longer a problem for me. Like, for me, that person was supposed to no longer be a problem for reasons, but then I found out that they were still about to be a problem. Not even be a problem, but just exist in my world. They were not even supposed to exist in my world anymore. But I found some stuff out that apparently they were still going to, so I'm like, now I have to deal with that. And that's another thing that I would love to hear people's opinion on this. My therapist was like, kind of like, the way I cut people off is not healthy and it doesn't give healed, because I would rather the person does not exist in my life anymore, like is not even a character in my life. And I'm the type of person to avoid places and go into stuff to avoid someone, which I know can be polarizing, but yeah, she said that doesn't give healed, so I was like, oh. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. Because I feel like some of my friends are like, they would do the same, like, oh, that person's there, they're not about to go there. Or like, even when you read books, it's like, oh, when the ex shows up, nobody's happy about it. You know what I mean? So I'm like, it don't sound crazy to me. But she said it was not giving healed. I'll never forget that. But I would love to hear people's opinions on that. But yeah. So what else happened in the summer? Honestly, I feel like the summer has just been working and reeling off of the trauma that was friendship breakups and crazy ass situationships. Yeah. Sometimes I'm fine. Sometimes I was fine. Sometimes I wasn't fine. It's really like a daily thing, I feel like. Actually, I'm trying to think now, like, how often do I think about these people? One person is not muted and stuff, so sometimes when they post, I think about them, but I think I did go days without thinking about that person. And then another person, they're like muted on everything, so I don't think I think about them, but I probably do. I don't know. Basically, everything is still heavy on my mind. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm like, do I think about these people daily? I genuinely can't remember, but like probably, cause I can tell that like everything from this year is still weighing on me. I'm so excited for it to like not weigh on me anymore and be on like the next phase of my life. I feel like I'm in a intermission right now, which you never know how long those can last. Like the last time I felt like I was in intermission was probably like all of high school, and that was like 4 years. So hopefully this intermission is not like that, because if it is, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to handle that. But yeah. So, oh my god, another thing is I kind of like, even though I added that I add therapy every Friday to this whole life update, I have kind of come to hate therapy and am considering getting a new one. But I'm so like, I don't know if the word is avoidant or whatever, that like I don't know if I can get myself out of the therapy I'm in right now, which sounds crazy, I know. But yeah, I have therapy tomorrow and I've mentally decided I will show up for it, but I'm not excited. And yeah. That's crazy. That's why I feel like everything is stressing me out, and like even things that are supposed to help aren't helping. Like the fact that therapy is one of my stressors is crazy. And like I have to figure out how to manage it on top of everything. But I finished my co-op today. I had my last day today and I was happy leaving and stuff. Took a nap and woke up and remembered all the other things lifing my motherfucking ass. So then I came downstairs and decided to record this, and yeah. I think after I post this though, I'm gonna work on editing my other YouTube videos to kind of drown this one out. But yeah, hopefully not a lot of people watch this. But yeah, that's basically my life update. There's probably more that I'm leaving out, but those are like the main things on my mind right now. I start school soon and I'm nervous. And yeah. I guess I got it all off my chest. Yep. Everything I mentioned, add like 5 times complicated to it. Nothing is like, nothing feels done. Everything is still, like I said, stuff is still weighing on my chest, but stuff still, like I'm still reeling, I'm still experiencing like the consequences of everything. And I'm bored. And I feel like I only have one person to hang out with. But when school starts, I'll have more than one person to hang out with. But like, I'm mm-mm. And then also it's gonna be my senior year, and what was I saying? What was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm about to start my senior year, and I'm still trying to go to medical school, but sometimes it really feels like a pipe dream, and I'm nervous about that because you need so many letters of rec, and I'm like, can I do that? I think I know one science one. Yeah, I don't like thinking about it. Because you go through what? 4 years of classes, and then at the end of it all, you're supposed to rack up all these letters of recommendation. How do you get those people to remember you? And I know people say ask them questions and stuff and like engage in their class, but is that really enough? Because I'm like, there's past teachers I could reach out to, but I feel like if anything, they would be like, who is this girl? Where are we going from here? Where are we going from here? I think I'm about to watch This Is Us because I found a podcast of the actor that plays Randall, and what are the two other characters' names? Is the mom's name Rachel? I don't think it's Rachel. Now I have to remember. What's her name? Rebecca. And then the guy, Toby. Those three actors have a podcast where they go over every episode. So now I'm like, that's a good excuse to rewatch it. But I'm nervous to rewatch it because I can't rewatch anything. I actually have pressed play on the first episode, and after a couple minutes I stopped. But I'm going to try to do it again and then listen to the podcast. Like, honestly, yeah, days just feel like trying to find ways to distract myself. And that is the distraction I'm choosing today. I also finished the Harry Potter series, which took me for freaking ever. I started audiobooks. I've read 54 out of 50, which is my goal for this year. I would have never had that big of a goal if it wasn't for audiobooks. But now that I'm done with work, I don't know if I'm going to read at the same speed. But I still have audiobooks on hold, so I'm like, I have to find time to listen to these. So yeah, I even have a book on that like was ready to get right now, but I'm like, when will I listen to it? Today at work, I listened to a book I read in high school because I remember being obsessed with the series, and I thought it was like my favorite series. And I listened to it today. It wasn't bad, but I'm like, wow, like that was my book in high school. That's wild. Should I let the next person borrow it? Y'all can't really read it. Or should I take it out? I have another book I have to finish that's like halfway through playing. And then this is the only other book that I could have right now. And I'll have it for like 2 weeks, so let me just get it. Also, audiobooks I don't really review. Sometimes I rate them. Usually that's only when they're really bad. And I feel like I just have to give it a 2-star. But I don't really talk about them on YouTube. Most of the books I talk about are books I read physically. And that's the next YouTube video y'all can look forward to, is me reading Before I Let Go. I think it's Kennedy Ryan. And then another YouTube video I made is my weekend vlog to see Lucky Day. I just saw Lucky Day on Sunday. See you guys. I occasionally still have a life, but it feels like I have a life once a month. But also, disclaimer, if my friends are watching this, if you're watching this and you're like, Mickell, you're saying too much, tell me, and I'll delete this YouTube video. Thank you. But yeah, I think I'm gonna just post this for real, pauses and all, because I do not want to edit at all. But thanks for listening. If you're watching this, my friends, and you're not telling me to delete the video, I'd love for y'all to leave comments so we can interact on like this YouTube video, even though you could just text me or anyone who's watching and maybe has questions about my life. I could probably go into way more detail, but I guess we'll say that for the second evaluation of my life, which is so crazy. That's why I do need to do it yearly, because I know, okay. When I made that first evaluating my life video, one, I don't know if I thought I would be here today, but it did help open my eyes, because some of the situations that I needed to get out of, I knew I needed to get out of them. I just did not know how I would, and I did not know how long it would take. And some of the situations I'd be wanting to get out of be like years of shit that I cannot dig myself out of. So the fact that I got dug myself out of some this year is crazy. I know me from last year had no idea that would happen. But the only reason why I'm at peace with it is because I know that like those were like the few things that I felt like were holding me back in life. So if you're watching this and every time people are like, I don't know, every time you're like, oh, I'm content with my life, but there might be whispers of some stuff that you know you're not content with. Like, that's how it always was for me, is that like I wanted to be content, but I knew there were things that like I was holding on to that I did not want in my future. Like, I knew for so long that I did not want certain things in my future. Like, if you're looking for a sign to get out, like, this is it. But I know for me, I waited until certain cards were in place, or it was like right in front of my face, like, girl, like, this is your one chance to get out of it. Then I took my chance to do it. But whew. But yeah. So if you're anything like me and you want to be content in life, but you know certain things or people are like the reason why you can't say you're content in life, not even like cut them off right now or cut it off right now, but maybe think about ways to really like fix the issue or start planning. I know some things that I went through this year, they were actually a little bit pre-planned. So yeah, just like this sounds so bad. I wonder, like, I don't know if my life struggles are similar to other people's at all. Like, I really don't know. But if you're anything like me, or you just feel like you relate somehow and you have like little escape plans in your back pocket or something, like, really become prepared to use them. And like, not necessarily get yourself the life that you deserve. Like, yes, get yourself the life that you deserve, but I guess in terms of what I experienced, I'm more so saying like, give yourself the life that you deserve, as in like, get rid of those things that are keeping you from what you like know you deserve. You know what I mean? Anything that like you're experiencing and you're like, oh my god, like, this is not good, this is like, any situation you feel trapped in, like, really work on getting it out. Because even though all these things have caused me trauma, I now feel not really trapped for the most part. There's only like one little straggler, but yeah, I finally feel kind of like almost free. But yeah, I went 10 minutes overtime. But yeah. We're gonna try to do no edits. Can we try that? Yeah. We're gonna try that.